Gaming Podcast, episode 35. It is the week of March 31st, 2018. Remember, we are a podcast about video games and conversation. Today is a two-man show. And
the usual two-man.
The usual two-man.
I've been having too many of these lately. Not just here.
I
know.
Yep. So before we derail immediately,
it's my job.
Today
Lee and Pedro are here, so I have to derail us.
George.
Hi.
And my name is Jose A.K.I. Remember that we post a show every Monday/Tuesday/any day of the week on your favorite podcast service of choice. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing.
And that's our show. Thanks for listening.
Enough fuck ups for today, so I think that wraps it up. We got nothing to talk about. PAX.
PAX, where Pedro is as we speak.
Pedro better bring some scoops. Pedro had better play some shit.
I know. I expect we should have just Skyped him in right now.
I know, Pedro. What's the word of the street? No, all right, bye.
Hey, yo.
I swear to God, if Pedro comes back, he's like, "So what'd you play?" Nothing, bro. That is a thing for Division 2. I just played Division 2. I'm like, leave.
Be gone. I'm pretty sure he plays some things.
I'm sure. A lot of stuff to play, especially a lot of indie stuff. PAX.
You gotta wait. You gotta be. Well, I imagine the lines today won't be as bad as they probably have been the past couple days.
Hopefully the stink isn't as much as well. That's right here. A lot of
that's just a convention thing.
But turns out people that play games tend to smell more, apparently.
No, I've heard of Comic-Con being
just nerds in general. Anywhere where a lot of nerds are involved.
But think about nerds who like to get really dressed up in cosplay. So that's going to be like some of them will wear some of that really heavy stuff that'll really make you sweat. All the juices are in there, you know.
Nice. It's all fermenting.
Yes. They probably don't shower all week while they're there.
On that note, so what have you been playing?
So that's the segue we're going for, I see.
As you're talking about it, I'm like, okay, I'm like listening to every word you're saying, so I'm like, where can I?
You always listen to every word I say, though.
Every day.
Every day. This is what happens when you work together for anyone else.
What have you been playing?
Well. Okay, so we're gonna go with a story. It's a story time.
Oh boy.
So I was playing a bunch of games.
Okay. Guys and gals, what you're about to hear is a true story, or based on a true story. This happens. I think every gamer experiences this a few times in their life, and it's the most heartbreaking.
It's not the first time, yes.
The most heartbreaking thing. It hurts just to hear him tell the story again. But continue.
So yeah, I was playing. This past week, I played some Horizon, some Infamous. I think that's the two I mainly just went back and forth for this week.
Two good games, real good games actually.
Yeah, and so yeah, just to hit I wasn't too far in Infamous, but Horizon, I was about 25, 26 hours in. And then I get this.
That's more than a day.
Yeah. Then I get this error. I've gotten it a couple times. I usually just turn the PlayStation off, turn it back on, and it'll play fine for a good 20 minutes, half hour. Then I'll get the error again.
But what the error say? Like,
it's just sort of error doesn't explain, just gives you the error number. And so the last time I did it, I copied the number down. I looked it up online, and I noticed a lot of people have been having this error. From what I can see, a lot of people have equated it to the latest update of Apex, which I had just deleted off my system.
But that's weird because this Apex,
it has to do with the PS update too. So I think those two
Apex did. Okay, so I'm guessing something clashed with the Apex update and the system update. Something there was not.
Yeah, because literally almost everywhere. I don't know if it's just because a lot of people play the game. It might just be a PlayStation error on its own, just because I don't want to go fully blame until we have actual proof that caused it. But
I will lose my shit if I go home right now. As someone that does not have PlayStation Plus, and I lose my files.
Is it your main PlayStation, or is it? So
I don't have PS Plus anyways.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
So if I listen to what I'm saying. If my files get deleted, I will lose my shit.
See, but here's the thing with I forgot that my PlayStation isn't my main one, so I don't get the cloud saves up. Because if I remembered, I either would have manually saved or I would have brought a hard drive I have down here that's set up to save on the PlayStation and put those save files in there. But I didn't, so I lost everything because you have to initialize your PS4 in order to get it out of the system and make sure everything's updated after. So yeah, I lost everything. So what I've actually been playing within the past 2 days now.
He lost all his save files.
All save files. I had to freaking reinstall games. So obviously I only reinstalled the ones I'm actually going to play now. So
he's like, Horizon Zero Dawn? Nope.
No, I actually downloaded because I do want to play it, but I think now that's just going to be like a back burner game.
Yeah, it's like, all right, this is...
I'll rotate with that in The Witcher. Luckily, I wasn't so far in The Witcher. I think
what level are you in The Witcher?
I don't even remember.
I'm pretty sure you're still in the first area.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably first area. I got out of the starting area. I got to the other world. But
tell you what, the universe has a cruel way to make you just play God of War.
Yes, I know.
He was like, listen, you're on vacation this week, bitch. You're playing God of War, whether you like it or not.
Well, I can't play vacation. I already got plans for me tomorrow.
What?
I already got plans made for me tomorrow. But the rest of the week, I should be able to play. See, there's life and wife. Those usually clash with each other.
The L and the W.
Yep. But yeah, I got to play. I actually got further than I was before because now I didn't have the other distractions of like, oh, let me play a little of this. Let me play a little
Infamous,
of that.
we're talking?
Yeah, Infamous.
Okay. Second Son.
Yes, Second Son.
Third Infamous game.
Is it? Or Festival of...
That doesn't count. That's like a standalone thing, side thing. Like a deal. I think it was part of the season pass, I think.
Probably.
Infamous 2.
That's around the time they started forcing those out, yeah.
Yeah. So, Infamous Second Son. I platinumed that game. It's not a big deal. That game is super easy to platinum. But I love that game. A lot of people didn't like it because even though graphically at the time it came out back in 2014,
it still looks fantastic.
Looks fucking next gen as fuck. But imagine now it's still looking good. Imagine back in 2014.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the first games I think of the current generation that you look at, you're like, okay, this is next gen.
I think people's issues with it, which I guess I could kind of have the same. It doesn't bother me as much, but I could see the issue being is that it plays very last gen. Like,
yeah, even though the design of everything is very last gen. Yeah. I mean, it looks like, for example, the particle effects, shit like that. It's really like current gen.
Yeah.
I see the smoke and the neon and all these particles flying around everywhere. It's kind of cool, which is kind of a bummer that other games, because seeing that at the beginning of the generation, you kind of thought like, oh my god, look at the particles and shit. Games are gonna really go and ham on that. And even though games did, it seems like they didn't go in at it too hard.
Yeah.
They kind of just like, Sony did it because like, we gotta prove this technology, so yeah, put particles in this game.
Yeah, it plays very much very RPG like, where you like to make the game easier. It's better for you to kind of go around and basically kind of level up or clear.
Oh yeah.
Clear an area first before if you know you're going to be fighting something strong soon.
And are you leaning evil or good?
Leaning good.
Good, okay. Because this is not one of those games. I don't think there's a gray area in this game. You can't really play in the middle, kind of. You can't.
And I hear it doesn't make as much as a difference as it did in the first two.
Yeah, in the other ones, you were either like a good guy or a bad guy.
Yeah.
So that was one of the main problems. I know you're not that far in that game, but I feel like the story in Second Son, even though I think the characters are more developed as far as like they're more realistically developed. If you play the other two Infamous games, you realize that those games are very comic booky. The way the lines are delivered, the way the game is presented.
I think that's what they were going for, especially with the first one. I know that's what they were going for, is to have a comic book feeling game. Like they wanted the comic book come to life.
Yeah, like with their own superhero. But I feel like Second Son try to play more realistically as far as like the acting,
the relationship with him and his brothers.
Yeah, like, Troy Baker and
I knew I heard the voice before.
Yeah, Troy Baker.
I don't know who the other
Willingham. Yeah, the other guy. Yeah, he's on. Those two guys are on everything. It's funny because his wife, I think Travis Willingham is his name,
Yeah.
or something like that. His wife is Fetch. Also in the game, his wife is also fucking in everything.
Yeah, I've cleared the first 2 areas. I did the whole thing, fought that one dude with the giant machine gun that fucking...
I don't remember.
Yeah, no, well, he's a pain in the ass to kill because he's like your first boss and you hardly have any power, so you're just kind of like, run!
Yeah. So what do you think of the power so far?
Well, right now, I still only have the smoke power, but it's almost like...
Do you know what the other powers are?
I don't know.
Okay, that's cool.
It's like I heard of them back in the day. It was like, I didn't play it, so it's just like...
I think it's cool to be surprised by those powers. Like,
I'm
the
pretty
neon
sure
part, like, but that power is like the marketing material, you kind of guess.
But yeah, and that's obviously First Light is the other game that's out.
Fully neon, only neon, pretty much.
But that shows you at least one of the other powers. So you're like, okay, so I know I'll probably be using that one, but what else?
Yeah, and it's cool because this dude's power is absorbing powers, which is kind of cool.
And the cool thing about this, because Sucker Punch is doing Ghost of Tsushima, so it's like I'm seeing this and I was like, oh, I see what they can do with the world and everything too. So it's making me a little more excited, especially seeing how much further they're pushing that in Ghost.
Graphically in every fucking sense. I still stand by that. There's something going on with Ghost of Tsushima. There's something in me that says it's not just like a samurai ninja half game. That logo, to me, I'm still stuck on that logo. I'm like, what? Everything is done on purpose. And you see that logo, you're like, why does it look kind of futuristic? I'm not saying they can have some futuristic fucking match in that game, but like,
you think they're gonna go Assassin's Creed with it?
No. I just feel like there's something that we don't know. That's what it feels like. There's something to that game that we don't know yet, and I feel like they're gonna reveal it later on once it's closer to the.
I'd be happy with just a historical thing, though.
Me too.
Because it looks fantastic.
Me too. I'm down with the historical, like make it look like the movie, like a 1960s samurai movie or whatever. I'm just like, why would they choose that logo? Like, it makes no sense.
Make it.
But yeah.
But yeah.
How cool is it to go to you're in the bottom floor of a building, you go through the vent, and go all the way to the top. That's pretty nice.
Well, I like when you unlock the new powers, because he kind of reacts like kind of how you probably would.
Like, all right.
He's like, all right, this is cool. I'm really gonna blow shit up now.
Yeah.
Like,
did he already do the part where he goes up?
Yeah.
And does the fucking
I
forgot what's it called.
What was the last thing? Did I get the punch last? No, I think I got the missile launching power.
Oh, that one's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes those freaking assault trucks that come by. That makes them so much easier now.
And how are you loving the touch controls? The swipes.
That's
everywhere.
So forced. That's the way I feel.
But isn't it cool shaking a controller here like a can? And hearing like the little ball inside, it kind of feels like it's in it.
I could feel like Sucker Punch making this game, and then that memo comes from Sony. Is we need to make sure we use the touch features on the controller.
Early generational games usually fucking forcing all this shit in. What other game was it? I think when the PS4 came out.
Yeah, there was like a couple games that had that force.
Yeah, I think one of the games had like a reload function.
Something.
like shake the controls to reload. I'm like, why the fuck would I want to shake the controls to reload? God damn it.
Yeah, I do remember playing something and having to go like...
Oh, you also remember like almost every single game had the using the speaker for something?
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes you'll be like...
That fucking phone scares me every time it starts ringing.
What the fuck is ringing?
It goes like, I'm like, what the fuck was that? Oh. Even my cat, if he's sitting in front of me, when that goes off, he's just like,
what the fuck?
The fuck was that?
What about someone like me that was using like a headset to play? Sometimes some of the voice will come through the like any phone calls will come through the fucking speaker of the controller. So you'll be like, you forget about it. You're like, you're seeing this guy talking to himself. You're like, what the fuck is it? Oh shit! I guess the other dialogue didn't kick in. But then you start hearing like voices like far away, but it's really the controller. And you're like, fuck.
Then your wife comes in angry. Turn that shit down.
What?
What are you talking about?
Who are you talking to?
But yes, that's all I've basically been playing, other than getting my other games at least up and running, making sure all the DLC I had for whatever.
All right, so for you out there, just pour one out for the homie here.
Yes, and beware. Make sure to back up all your files.
That's a tale all this time. That is a lesson.
Till the this time.
Yeah, I remember once my cousin, I used to have a USB drive. So basically I had two Xboxes. One in my apartment, one in my parents' house years ago. 360. So I used to carry around a USB stick with my save files at that time. So one time, over at my mom's house, Mass Effect games, long games, and I had my save file ready to go for Mass Effect 3 coming out. So I'm like, all right, my Mass Effect 2 file's good. Like, I'm 100% that game. Because you transfer over your character.
Yeah.
So my cousin decided he needed to listen to music. To download some files, some music files or whatever. And he was looking for a USB stick. Mine just happened to be there. He plugs it in. He's like, format, sure. And I remember I walk into the room and I'm noticing he's like sliding files into a folder. And I see my USB stick stuck on the computer. And I'm like, it wouldn't be my USB stick that you're dragging those files into. He's like, oh yeah, it's that one. Automatically, I know that you can't move any files into it unless you format the thing.
Yeah.
I almost cried. Like, almost my entire 360 history of save files were on that thing.
So I hear your cousin had an accident.
He went missing. Yeah, we still.
You still haven't found the body.
We still haven't found the body. Yeah. No, but yeah, that is the heartbreakingest news.
Oh yeah, that's why I don't let people play my PlayStation without me there.
Yeah.
Like, you can play whatever on it, but I'm gonna be there to make sure you're not. Luckily, my brother-in-law doesn't like to play single-player games.
Yeah.
He likes multiplayer, so I'm like, good, because I can't stand multiplayer games.
Yeah.
Knock yourself out.
Yeah, I don't like it when they touch my shit.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say, Mom. He can play it.
You have to share.
No,
I don't.
Yeah, my little brother back in the day that my parents used to make me
share
my shit with him. He was like fucking 5. I'm like, dude, my PSP, he broke it. Fucking playing the goddamn WWE 2K. SmackDown vs. Raw 06. Great game. But yeah, what have I been playing? All right, so last week I played Division 2 with with Lee and Pedro.
So you played with yourself?
With myself.
Not the first
with
time.
Lee and Pedro. It's a pretty good game. I don't think
You don't think you'll play it too much?
No, because again, I'm not really into like.
You're like me. You're not really into like these
multiplayer shooters, like co-op games. I'm not like. If I find like a group of friends to play like them, I'll have a good time.
Yeah.
As far as like just shooting the shit and just shooting shit.
Same reason I used to play Call of Duty. Just
yeah,
my
like,
friends
you
just
don't
to
really
get on. I don't really care.
It's like brain, like you turn your brain off and just go.
Yeah.
Right.
My mission was just don't die a lot, so they don't blame you for losing.
Yeah. Bro, you KD. I don't give a damn about KD.
Listen, I'm gonna go camp back here. You guys do your thing, and I'm gonna chill.
Come revive me. Yeah, so play some Division 2. Game looks great. Looks really good. Looks better than the first one, I feel. The game's a lot harder. The AI in that game is fucking ruthless. Like, we had a hard. I think we were playing on normal, and the three of us. It's not like we were like dying a lot, but like we had a few choke points. Like, the enemies flank you in this game, like
right.
in ways that you don't expect. Like, so like you come to like say it's up like this mission we did. It's a side mission. It's like on top of a building. And you could go like you're shooting across like rooftops.
Yeah.
But the buildings are connected, so you could like if you wanted to, you could have gone around and through like going through the other buildings to get to where they're at. But so can they. So while you're shooting these guys, I remember we were playing and I'm over here wearing cover like shooting. Out of fucking nowhere, I die. I'm like, dude, right behind us, and there's like 5 of them coming through the back door, like right where we just came from. So like the AI in this game is definitely a lot more.
It's almost like they listen to the complaints of the first.
Yeah, like it's really aggressive. Like they'll fucking flank you. They'll like push you. They'll push you to a corner, and like you're just there like ah. So it's kind of cool. They're a lot more aggressive. Another thing, the mission design, like the side missions and stuff. I think they're a lot more complex, and they're long. Like I forgot that I was playing a side mission. It was for a while. Like damn, this is for like 45 minutes. Like it was a pretty long time. And I think we mostly did just side stuff, and it was a pretty long. Like it was meaty stuff. So there's a lot of content there. I mean, we were still in the main area, and we didn't do everything. We did like 5 or 6 things.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was cool. Aside from the Division 2, I played some more Final Fantasy 9. Played Sekiro. I'm finally getting that From Software bug, like the feeling. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's the motif of the game, the whole Ninja Shinobi thing that got me. Because the game's definitely easier in some ways, but easier. I mean, in the ways that
it could be that just like the style of it.
But because the combat is still like you're still gonna get your ass kicked in, like, but. I feel like the game is more descriptive. Like, it'll tell you what these items do. Like, yeah, this item's for this. Bring it here. The other games, you have no fucking idea. You got these things like, oh, you go do good luck. Like, figure it out. Like, but that was the appeal of the game. You got these you find shit, but you don't know what to do with it.
Then in a way to offset that, then they have, like, people could leave you, like, trails.
Yeah, they could leave you, don't go there. Yeah. I remember when I was playing Bloodborne, like, you'll find, like, a little message, and it'll be like, watch out, next corner. I'm like, what? And then next corner, some fucking dude just flies out. So
why did you tell me? I did!
Not soon enough. Yeah, so this game is definitely a lot more descriptive. What is describing its items and the way the world works. Not with everything. It's not like more modern games. I've really described everything to a T. This one is, but it's more descriptive than the previous games. It's a lot more. You really have to close in on the enemies. Like the other From Software games, a lot like of dodging and like hitting, dodging, hitting, dodging, hitting, and just figuring out the patterns of that the enemy's gonna do, the boss or whatever. But this one really, like, if you try to play it like you're used to playing the other Souls games, like Dark Souls or like even Bloodborne, you're gonna fucking die. This game wants you to get closer and parry. Like that's the main mechanic of the game, and the whole posture damage. So basically, when you parry, the enemies have a life bar and a posture bar. When the posture bar goes all the way up, you could one hit kill them. Also, you could just bring down the health bar. But the posture bar is where you want to hit, right? Yeah. Which I guess the posture thing was still in the other games, but it was in the background. You really couldn't tell. Like there was no bar showing you. This game shows you that there's a like the posture that is there. And it's a lot more ingrained into the actual mechanics of the game. So I think that was what clicked with me once I figured out, like, no, you need to engage the enemy. Don't run away from them. The other games were a lot more like, hit, move back, right? Try to get out of the way. This one's like, no, get close, get in their face, try to dodge. Try to parry their moves, learn the patterns, and you'll kill them. So I got to this part. I'm still there. I haven't actually gotten to play in a few days, but this spear fucking guy, he sucks hard. You can dodge his fucking. I feel like that dude teleports to you. It is one of those games that you could play for like.
I think I haven't played the game, but I listen to tons of podcasts and stuff, and I think you're at a boss that one guy.
The same spear guy. I'm pretty sure a lot of people talk about the spear guy because he sucks.
But apparently, I heard the way to beat him.
I figured it out. Yeah. You have to buy one of the first upgrades, and that allows you to parry. Because he has a spear. It allows you not to parry it, but to it's called the Mimicry counter. Yeah. Okay, so first of all, I had the counter, and I'm like, all right, this guy's a spear. I already had died against him, so I know I have to go in there and like hit parry to parry him. No, you have to hit different button. You have to hit circle on the PlayStation or like B on the Xbox. I'm like, why do you have to hit B? Like, why? Fucking R1. I mean, L1 is the fucking button to parry. Yeah. But no, the game's not. It expects you to hit circle forward. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of shit you figure out. Also, a lot of the things, a lot of these hard enemies are not by themselves. It's usually a bunch of enemies around them. So you have to like work your way killing all those guys just to get this dude himself. Yeah. I mean, you could it's a death sentence if you try to like attack everybody there. Yeah, like I need to go now with my knowledge that I have. I want to go back and try to kill this fucking guy finally. He's pretty like once you get down the counter with him, you could beat him pretty easily. But if you don't, but that's the process. Learning this is the process of these games, and I think that's what I'm enjoying a lot more. I'm no longer feeling like, for example, like that area from the statue where you save to that dude is a little bit. It's a ton of enemies to get there, so you a lot of sneaking around and stuff. So imagine doing all that, dying, losing half your experience, and going back to that area. Like you immediately, you're like, fuck that, right? Mm-hmm. But the point is, you don't have to fight those guys. If you wanted to, you can just run past them and just get to the next. Because this game is very mechanics heavy. As far as like, it's not really worried about the world. It doesn't try to be realistic. Once you get out of these people's sight, they just stop looking for you and they go back to their patterns. You know what I mean? It's like old school in that sense. Or like, I could kill a guy
So
real quick, but like the guy next to him won't notice me because he's just not looking my direction. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff.
So I hear every time you die, your village gets sick.
Everybody gets sick. So this thing called
This dragon skill.
Dragon's Rot, I think it's called.
Dragon's Rot, yes.
Yeah, so the reason the game is called Shadows Die Twice is because when you die, you have a chance to revive yourself. And it actually kind of works. It works as a mechanic because the world continues to go where you're dead. Mm-hmm. So like when you die, the game will say dead, and then it'll say like give up or resurrect, one of those two. If a guy has attention on you, he kills you. He sees that you're dead, and he starts walking back. So you could use it to your advantage. Like, wait till he walks back far enough, revive yourself, then go try to sneak up on him and try to get him again. So that's part of it. You could use that also as well. So you see, everything's like all these little pieces is like about you just figuring out how it works. Also, after I beat that spear guy, I know I have a harder boss to fight right after that. So, yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it. Once you figure out the difficulty, how it works, it's not really meant to like just keep pushing your teeth in. It's about you just learning
the patterns,
and realizing that what you really want to do is just like kill a bunch of enemies just to get leveled up, to get more levels, so you get abilities to like, so it becomes a little bit easier. It's a little bit easier, and you can feel it. Like you get a new ability, like that Mimicry counter. It's like, all right, now I got a little bit easier now to beat this guy. Or like when you get, I think it's another power that I think the boss after that you beat him. I think he gives you a little more strength on your sword. So you see what I mean? You're a little bit better already. And the game is also not linear. Like, you legit go, and like this place is open, no map. So it's like old school in that sense. So you legit have to navigate this labyrinth of fucking hallways and fucking canyons and shit in Japan or whatever, and not knowing just going this direction because I'm just going this direction, and it's mean because you'll be going this direction like three guys. You're like, I'm waiting for these fuckers to go around the corner, and once you get, and I was legit just bolting it to the next area. This fucking giant comes out of the fucking corner out of nowhere and just fucking hits me, and you're like, what the fuck was that? Like seriously, like
no.
You're legit. You're like, that was bullshit. Like, there was no way for me to know this dude was there. And then I was like, okay, whatever. So I ran away from that guy again, and then I go back up from the top. I'm like, I saw him going there. I look down. That giant's not longer there anymore. I'm like, oh, what the fuck was that? I jump down. He fucking comes out of nowhere again. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy at? Like, and I was getting my ass beat by him. I'm like, okay, I'm not even bother with him right now. I'm just gonna fucking just go to the next area. I've been stuck here for way too fucking long. So yeah, I think that game is. I'm understanding more. I'm not fully on that train, but I'm understanding more why those games are appealing and what the process is of these games.
I mean, they're becoming more popular because there's been like kind of a slew of difficult games, but you have to like learn patterns.
I'll tell you this much.
Not with their style. Not
all the way.
It's been like a lot of 2D, like Cuphead for one.
But I think Souls. Remember at the time Souls came out?
Yeah.
The first Souls game, Demon Souls, came out in 2009. We were during that time was the PS3 and 360 era when everything was going more accessible, right? So everything was trying to be easier. Almost everything, like,
you want accessible?
I know. So it was like every game, like you play Call of Duty, and it would tell you exactly the checkpoint. Go here next. Go here next. Go here. There was no room to like explore anything. It was always go here next. Go here next. And that was that time. That was like that period of time. Almost every single game did that. Like held your hand to a T, because the Wii was really successful. So they're like, oh, everybody's that's playing Wii is probably gonna buy an Xbox or PS3. So we had to make games accessible to them, to like
to the casual gamers,
to the casual market. And I don't know if you remember that period of time, but it really was. Everything was like the gray time. Everything was like a military shooter. Call of Duty really influenced a lot of that time.
Every shooter.
Yeah, every shooter at that time. And Gears of War also for third-person shooters. But Demon Souls came out of fucking that time. I think people were starved for a challenge. Games that fucking gave no fucks about you. And that was one of those games. And I think it had a small following that kind of understood what they were doing.
Yeah.
And it slowly began. And then with Dark Souls, it got even bigger. And Dark Souls 2. And I feel like
crank these games out pretty quick.
I know they do. Really, and I feel like From Software I think they have changed the gaming landscape for all games have changed because of Dark Souls. It's one of those things like. Maybe it's not selling as much as Call of Duty. It's not selling as much as like these other games, but apparently everybody that played these games made other games. Same way Metroid, right? Like Metroid's not Nintendo's biggest selling franchise. It's not. It's Mario, right? Metroid's not even nowhere near what Mario numbers are. Metroid doesn't even make that much. But apparently everybody that fucking played Metroid back in the day is making games now, because you notice like Symphony of the Night, because everybody's fucking making Metroidvanias. Almost every single game that's 2D has a Metroidvania element to it. I mean, fucking even Batman Arkham Asylum had like Metroidvania elements to it. I mean, that game was a Metroid game pretty much with Batman, and that's why it worked. And I feel the same thing is going on with From Software games, because like Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Assassin's Creed Origins, they do the whole thing with the enemies. Like it's a lot more learning patterns and using the triggers to hit like R1 and R2.
It's also a lot more repetitive.
And also God of War, you'll notice same thing. They're using these from the beginning. They want to use the triggers to hit.
I'll notice this week.
Oh, you'll notice this week, yeah. and using counters. Like it feels like almost if you're a third-person game, it seems like they played a Souls game. And it's one of those things, like, it feels like these people that play this game got inspired to make games. I don't know why, but, like, it just feels that way, because even though without me playing Souls games, like, that much, I could see the influence on everything else that they've done. Like, almost, it feels like every fucking game now is, like, has to be difficult and all this shit, like, because of Souls. That's what made everything else change, which is kind of crazy.
Which, you got Lee, who just likes playing games in their most difficult level. Anyway.
Yeah, but I was telling him, like, last week, he kept hitting his head over and over again on the boss that is after the part I'm at. And I told him, dude, you just gotta learn it. You gotta learn what it is, like, learn the patterns, learn the best way to do it. If you think you're gonna go in there hack and slash and try to kill it, it's not gonna work. Like, you legit need to counter everything. But yeah, I'm enjoying that game a ton. I downloaded this game and just got on Game Pass, Vampire. It's like the vampire game that came out like last year. Like,
yeah, I've heard of it. But
yeah, I wanted to try that game before I did the show today, but I didn't have a chance. But yeah, I wanted to try that. What other game did I play? Did I play anything else?
Hey, you just played something upstairs.
Oh yeah, I played Batman VR for the first time. I mean, I didn't play much of it, but I got the gist of it. Turns out it's pretty alright. Like, it's one of the better looking VR experiences I've had, definitely.
Yeah,
it really does feel like you're Batman. Like, it's weird. Like, especially when I was just like, I wasn't even looking down at my belt, and I was just fucking grabbing the batarangs and fucking shooting them everywhere like a maniac. And
your Batawang.
And the Batawang. That's a different thing. A little bit lower in the belt. Yeah, you beat that game, right?
Yeah, well, I think I beat it. Then you unlock the Riddler challenges after you.
Oh boy, are they as annoying as the actual games?
Kinda.
Wait.
Not as annoying, because they have to make it accessible for you.
Is a Riddler challenge? Are they also? Is it a separate thing?
Yeah, it's a separate thing. Like, they let you play the game, not worrying about it. You know.
After you beat it.
After you beat it, then it's like, hey, you want to unlock stuff? Here's Riddler challenges that you can use to unlock.
Does this game have platinum?
Probably. Now you're just gonna go buy just platinum.
Probably, if it's easy.
It seems pretty easy.
I have no shame.
I had like the first 5 Riddler questions or puzzles done.
What's it? Give me an example of a puzzle. Like, what would it be?
One, it has like these wood blocks that are like basically the shape of the city. You gotta like try to put, I think, like 5 of them in the right spot. But those 5 pieces are also locked in the table, so you got to figure out how to unlock them.
Okay, so are these like logic puzzles? Is that
kind of like,
so it's like using your hands to like move things around and turn things over?
And it's using your brain too, where it's just like, all right, so if I put this here, that'll open up that one. But
okay, that sounds pretty cool. I like shit like that. So it's like that could have been any other game, like a puzzle game that they just put the.
I think that's why they didn't put it in the main game. Well, it's in the
main side thing.
I guess you could play some of them in the main game, but they don't make it like a thing. Like you have to go do these.
You have access to them earlier. Okay.
But like they literally just have the Riddler challenge, where it's like, do you want to do the one in the manor? Do you want to do the one in the Batcave? Do you want to do the one wherever else you go in the game?
Got it. Yeah. I didn't get to go to the city, but I want to try that next. Because you're on top of a building, right?
Yeah, you have
Does
one.
Does it look like you're on top of a fucking building?
Yes.
Okay. Because so far in the Batcave, I definitely felt like I was there. Especially, it's one of the first PSVR games where you can actually walk around.
Yeah.
And it feels kind of cool. You can walk around and experience the level that way. That's kind of neat. Yeah, now, once it gets on sale, I think $20 a little bit steep for the experience it is. But... it feels like PSN has a sale every fucking day.
They literally do.
It's almost like they're prepping for a new generation. They're like, let's just sell as many games as we fucking possibly can. We're about to find out if that game's on sale.
Give me a second.
Put Batman.
I'm waiting for the search to come up.
Is there a sale this week? Digital free 25th anniversary sale. Oh, is that for Bethesda?
Elder Scrolls 25th.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think Xbox has the same sale going on right now.
I just have VR person.
Batman. Is it on sale? Probably not yet. Seriously?
I hit CR. Why do they give me everything but?
You know, how is it possible? Like, Xbox has the same problem. You start to search for something, it's like the last fucking thing that you're looking for. Why is it showing me DLC? If I put Batman, why isn't it showing me the games first and then the DLC shit? Oh, right, there it is. Yeah. No, it's $19.99. Yeah. I'll wait for it to go on sale.
I'm sure it'll be some type of sale later on.
Dude, I think I see that game every fucking week on sale. Jesus. You know, playing that game definitely got me a little excited for more VR stuff. Did you check out the State of Play, by the way?
I watched some trailers. I didn't watch the whole thing.
Anything on there that got you like...
Obviously, the Iron Man one looks pretty cool, but it could be hit or miss. Cause
you know what's funny? Because I like the presentation itself.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting nothing crazy. I was expecting some good announcements.
Yeah.
Turns out the internet fucking... the hype... Because people... You can't tell them anything. People get too fucking hyped. You tell, hey, we're gonna an announcement to make later on today. Everybody thinks, oh my god, it's like they think like they're big, like their dream is about to happen every fucking single time.
That's how I was reading an article that's like listen, it was good. What the Sony needs to do or PlayStation needs to do now is learn how to temper the expectations.
Say something. Like,
yeah.
they
were saying
the first one, so they couldn't.
Yeah, but they used like the latest Nintendo one with the Pokemon. How they let you know like prior to it coming out, like this is gonna be all Pokemon. They didn't say what it was gonna be.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be all Pokemon.
Yeah, they would do that. Like they would say, like, hey, it's a 5-minute presentation with mostly talking about 3DS, no Switch. So you go in there not expecting any Switch games, but I think Nintendo got there. It wasn't like they started.
Well, that's what they were saying too. They're like, Nintendo wasn't hitting all cylinders in the beginning. They were going through the same growing pains of, like, hey, look what we have, and you don't have shit. What are you showing me?
And the reason it did that because that kept happening over and over again.
Yeah.
Every single time they said we have Direct, people were expecting fucking to see the next Zelda game.
Yeah.
So they expect to see the biggest things in the world.
I mean, while they still keep it very close to the vest until like the last minute, where they let people know.
Yeah.
It was like, we have a Direct coming. Here's what it's going to be about.
Yeah.
We got these games we're going to talk about, and we'll get into some more detail.
Yeah, and I think also Nintendo did this thing that some of the Directs were almost better than E3.
Yeah.
So, like, the expectation, like, oh my god, so people are like, oh, it's like a Nintendo Direct, so it's going to be fucking crazy announcements. Sony's not going to E3 this year, so this is going to have some crazy announcements. I think it puts them between a hard place and a rock, what's it called? Rock and a hard place. Yeah. Because they couldn't really say, it's not a big deal. Don't watch this, right? Like they couldn't say that.
No, what they should have said. I think what they should have said is like, "Hey, this is going to be very VR heavy."
They did say that. They said something like, when we talk about VR, the upcoming VR and PlayStation, an unannounced VR and PlayStation games. People skip VR in their mind. Others unannounced PlayStation games. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, that's what, or like unannounced and upcoming PlayStation games. That's what I think that's how they worded it. So in my mind, I was like, I'm hoping something crazy happens, but I'm not gonna think that because I've been burned too many goddamn times, right?
Yeah, I don't think Sony really has anything to show other than Days Gone right now.
Problem. You could tell Sony's prepping for the PS5. And I think PSX this year is when they go ham on that. I think everybody's kind of quiet right now, except Microsoft being really loud. But they need to.
But I think Microsoft's being really loud, and they're still more focused on next gen. I think they're just gonna be dropping silent bombs and be like, "This is gonna be for the next gen."
and I think that the reason for that is because they need to. They need to go swing. They need to come in swinging for the next generation. They lost this one. They know it's over. Xbox One. They're writing it off, but it's over.
Yeah.
Right? They're not. Okay, I'm not. Okay, when we say they lost, is kind of relative, right? They still won in their own way. They're making a ton of fucking money. Yeah, they sold a lot of Xboxes. In the U.S., the biggest market of games or whatever, before China conquers all of us.
Yeah.
Is very close as far as the U.S. PS4 and Xbox One. And I think you kind of notice. I mean, I do notice a lot more PS4s here in the U.S., but you notice a lot of people with Xbox Ones as well. If you go to Europe or other countries, you don't notice that. Everybody has a PlayStation, pretty much. It dominates in those areas. Even areas like the last generation, Xbox 360 was kind of pretty big. So I feel like Xbox needs to do this shit. They need to be on their toes and try to come in swinging. And they said, Phil Spencer said that this E3 they're gonna go in all the way. They're not gonna hold anything. They're gonna hold things back, but they're gonna go big. I don't know what that means. And I'm pretty sure they're just gonna show, like you said, they're gonna show games. It's coming out on Xbox One, but also but it's running on next gen. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think they learned from what was probably their biggest mistake is not having any first party, like really exclusive games that people wanted to go. Like,
they tried. It's just like it was all those things, like these decisions that were made such a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like,
well, now it's just like now you see all the decisions they just made in the past year to buy all these freaking studios. You're like, all right, we know that's not coming out for one. We know that's the next gen console, so that gives you something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Hopefully they very hands off with these studios and just be like, hey, just do what you do. You know, don't worry about us. Do the games you make.
Yeah, and I think Sony, since they're so fucking far ahead, I don't even think Sony's just worried about competition right now. They're just worried about like.
I think they worry about maintaining, and I think their biggest worry from reading interviews with like Sean Layton and everything is like not to repeat the mistakes of PS3.
Yeah.
That's one of their biggest worries. Is like, all right, don't get big headed. Let's try to stay grounded. Let's stay focused.
You need to, especially because you already know the games they have coming out, right?
Yeah.
The big games, Last of Us.
Which there was some rumor going around that Last of Us leaked on a European store as possibly coming this year.
I don't see that. That seems really unlikely. That just seems
because I guess everything's
possible.
Because I guess everything on that page that says coming soon is coming this year. It's just they just don't have definitive dates, and they just recently put up Last of Us 2.
But when it come out the holiday,
maybe I don't know.
That's hard for me, especially if they have no E3.
Yeah.
That's hard for me to like. That's not how these companies work. You know what I mean? There's usually a cycle, especially for these games like Last of Us.
They do have their state of plays now. That could be their big one.
They could be. Anything's possible. Like, I've learned one thing: never say never. Because fucking Cuphead is on the Switch, alright? Like, never say fucking never. Like,
how many switches will be broken when playing Cuphead?
Like, anything's fucking possible. It just feels like everybody's just prepping for next gen, right? Everybody's just like keeping quiet. Because what do we know is coming out this holiday? Obviously Call of Duty, but that's just
an every year automatic, annoying release.
We're seeing that Star Wars game, but then it says coming out this year.
I think they said it's scheduled for this year.
Until they show me a gameplay and be like, yes, coming out this year, I won't believe it.
The only reason I believe it is because it's EA and they give no fucks about releasing shit when prepared.
I don't know if you heard recently that like during the they laid off again like 350 people, but mostly for marketing and publishing and all that crap.
Yeah.
It's restructuring, right? Company. And the CEO, I think Patrick Sutherland, I think his name is, he said like, we want to be like. me paraphrasing from what I remember, is along the lines of, we want to be the greatest company for video games, and to if we're honest with ourselves, we're not there right now. So I think the pressure's on them. The too many fuck ups. Like they've been like last 3 years, like fuck up. Like nothing's been. Like, Star Wars, they fucked it up. Like
how do you? I don't know. Exactly. I don't know how you fuck up Star Wars.
They've been just too focused on like numbers and shit. Like too focused on like. Without listening to what people want. EA, even though like during 360 PS3 era, they were pretty high up there.
They kind of came in with the whole freaking console wars back in the Genesis Nintendo days.
Yeah. So. But like I feel, but I'm just like trying to reference it like a few years ago. Like they were pretty good. Like think about it, Mass Effect, best of its class at that time. Like 2010. Like fuck, almost 10 years. Dead Space. It was during a time when Resident Evil was like going less horror, more action, and here comes fucking Dead Space. Like no.
Okay, I remember because 360 had games I wanted to play, like single player games, not multiplayer. So if 360s didn't have their unfortunate history of bricking.
Well, and the problem was this is the thing with 360. A lot of people got another 360 because they don't have the fucking choice. The other choice was $600, and the exclusives on the Xbox, you're like, goddamn, Bioshock, Mass Effect, like all these fucking games, Gears of War, you're like, and the PlayStation at the time had like Resistance, Lair, Uncharted, but the thing is, Lair. Uncharted looked really good, but people, it just wasn't known at the time.
You have to remind me of Lair.
6 Axis, bro.
God. Once again, another game that they try to force the fucking controller.
I've been back for level 5. was it level 5? I mean, Factor 5. God, they made fucking the Rogue Squadron games, and they got fucking oh man. You played Lair, right? I never played a game. Graphically, like at the time, looked awesome.
It's one of those games that look amazing where you're like, oh, I want to play this. Then you hear about all the issues.
And then you start playing it, which I did, and those controls barely fucking work.
I guess they fixed it later on, but
maybe, but
by that point, it was.
You try to play a game, it's like all right. I remember specifically, it was this bridge, and you have to like shoot these guys in the bridge, right? So you go to the dragon, you go around, try to shoot them. With the sticks, you feel like you have precision, right? I shoot straight down. With the controller, it was getting frustrating because you're like, I'm trying to shoot at them, but like, it doesn't feel good.
What was the other game? It's like a space military type shooter that you catch similar controls with the.
Well, Warhawk.
Warhawk, yeah,
yeah. Warhawk, I think was pretty alright.
Yeah.
Because Warhawk was one of the first like PS3 games. To have like crazy online, and that was pretty cool because like you could be on the ground, get on a plane, and fucking fly around. And
multiplayer. That game, I had fun with that.
That game was cool, but it was during also the thing about we're talking about console wars again, but like during that time, that game is awesome. But you go to the Xbox and you're noticing fucking party system, like the friends list, everything's unified, all this shit, the online's seamless. And you go to this.
Everything they forgot about when they made the one.
And it turns out PlayStation, we're not thinking about any of this shit.
No.
And it was like, it's cool, but like, I can't like be in a party with my friends, like, when I play this, like, come on. Like,
right on.
Although by the end, PS3 was a lot better, but.
Yeah. It was always technically, I guess, the more powerful console, but
it's impossible to develop for.
Yeah. Imagine if they actually made it easy to develop for with the power it had.
Because, like, for example, you see something like Uncharted 2 specifically.
Yeah.
You realize that probably cannot be done on a 360. Especially when you see the building crumbling, everything falling everywhere, everything.
Now, that was easily probably one of the best games I ever played, Uncharted 2.
Straight up. And the good thing for me was that by the time I got a PS3, Uncharted 2 had already been out for like a year already.
So you got like
I played Uncharted 1. Like, I remember when I went to, because when I got my PS3 is when Xbox was being headed by Don Matrick already, so you could start seeing the Kinect and all this bullshit happening. You're like, what the fuck? Because I remember at the end of the 360 era, I was playing mostly PS3.
Yeah.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? What the hell's going on over there? And Xbox One was a continuation of that. But PlayStation was like fucking focusing on fucking single player games, Like fucking, you got. I remember playing Uncharted 2. I'm like, oh my god, this fucking game is fucking amazing. This is insane. How could I have missed this?
I think that's because at that point Sony was just listening to the complaints of people saying there's too many multiplayer games. I want fucking something I can play by myself. So they're like, all right, we have a market here. If we can tap into that, we can get back in the game.
And although I mean, Microsoft was still selling way more. As far as like copies, I think Gears of War 2 sold all their exclusive put together. Like, but it didn't matter because you know what? It paid off for the PS4. Mm-hmm. It got all these people into the ecosystem of the PS3. A lot of people got tired of the goddamn scene layer. Like, where the fuck are the floating rings? Like, come on.
Why did every flying game do this? I swear, like, everything has like a flying mission is like you need to go through the ring.
This makes no goddamn sense. Why is it? Whatever. I remember playing this too.
Oh man.
But back in 06 or 07 when this came out, it made more sense. Just now it doesn't. Back then we weren't looking for fucking logic and all this. Do you remember playing Resistance? The first one?
I'm trying to remember if I did play Resistance. I think I'd tell you the first one. I don't think I played any of the sequels. So.
Okay. Resistance 1, I played it and it looked, I remember thinking like, it looks next gen, but it looks not next. Like Gears of War, like you see Gears of War, you see that, you're like,
yeah, it's
not. But Resistance 2 was fucking awesome because you fight this Chimera dude, massive like Godzilla, and you're like as the level's going on, you like see this dude walking around, and by the end you're like on top of this building and you're shooting it. That was dope. And then on Resistance 3, oh man, I love that game. Fucking enough people didn't play it. God damn, like it's.
I feel like that. I'm surprised with all these like remasters we've got that we haven't got like a Resistance or. But I think that has to do with rights issues with the studio and.
No, because it's Insomniac. So like.
Oh, is it? Oh.
Yeah, it's Insomniac. And they came from Ratchet and Clank into Resistance, right? And then Naughty Dog went from Jack and Daxter to Uncharted, and you could tell like they're more mature. Like they were going from like kiddie like platformers or whatever to like more mature games.
Yeah.
But yeah, Resistance Fallen, man, what a fucking game. It was cool because they kept a lot of like, even though it looked like a World War II shooter, they kept a lot of like the craziness from Ratchet and Clank as far as like the weapons. Like that was just insane. Like the auger, I think it's the auger, the one that shoots through walls. There's one that's like it puts a shield. There's one that like you tag an enemy. That's a close weapon. So you tag an enemy with like a seeker bolt, and anywhere you shoot, the bullets like just curve towards that enemy. Which is kind of cool. You want to fast forward a little bit? See if we see some combat, some gameplay. You see? Wait a minute. Yeah, so you see, it at the time, yeah, the smokes look pretty cool, but like it didn't look like.
No, it just looks very dated.
Even then, it didn't look fully next gen to me, at least at the time.
Like I said, they could have been developing it for PS2 and then
probably, but the thing is, like, you see this game, it's like, oh yeah, PS3, the most powerful console, and then you see Gears of War, you're like, what is the hell are you talking about? Gears of War looks way better.
They had some sleepers in there though. It just wasn't enough in the beginning to warrant. 600. The way I warned it is at the time it was the cheapest Blu-ray player you could buy because Blu-rays were like $1,000 or something.
See, at that time it was expensive, but I remember wanting the Blu-ray player and then seeing Blu-ray movies costing almost $40. You're like, okay, no. So like.
That's the thing. I wanted a Blu-ray player, but I don't think I actually bought a Blu-ray right away. I think I bought some like years later.
Dude, it blew my mind to see the Blu-ray. I think the first Blu-ray movie I saw was Superbad. 2008, so like 2 years after fucking.
That might have been the first one I bought.
Dude, like seeing the stubble, like it felt weird because when you see Superbad in like standard definition, Jonah Hill, you can't tell that he's fucking almost 30.
Yeah.
And seeing in Blu-ray, you could see the fucking like his like the shadow of his beard. You can see he looked older. It was weird to see that on a Blu-ray. But you see a Blu-ray now, it's like compared to like 4K, like oh, okay, this looks like blurry.
Yeah.
God, it's just look good.
Yeah, but I wish they'd come up with a fucking
remaster.
Yeah, like a remaster type.
I'm surprised I haven't.
I think people would buy it. It'd be like, oh, I remember these,
Especially, I think 3 was fucking dope. And because the 1 and 2 was very like military based. I mean, you play this. There's a main character. There's a story there. But by the time 3 comes around, like the world's already destroyed. Like you play years later, the main character for 1 and 2 is dead.
Yeah, I heard
the graphics are way better.
I heard the freaking story goes places in that one too.
It's cool because like it's mostly based like you're on not a road trip, but like you're going somewhere. It's more like the road. You're going from one place to another. You're with your family. You're trying to get to a place.
Yeah.
So it has a very emotional moments. You can tell the graphics already look way better.
Yeah, I know.
Than freaking.
Yeah, we're looking at gameplay of 3.
We're looking at some gameplay of Resistance 3. If you fast forward to a little bit, you can see like the game just looks better overall. What the fuck?
Gotta wait for a commercial.
Well, Far Cry Udon, yeah, $20. Have you seen this commercial last 3 weeks? Limited time only.
Oh, you mean like the fucking...
Dude, look at these outdoor scenes. Oh my god, I love this game. It was so good. Everything just looks better about it. Like...
Yep, that's what they do.
Yeah, Resistance 3 was dope. Isn't it crazy that, like, the PS3 was, like... It started to get its groove back, like 2010, right? It was like, alright, like, it was actually selling, like, catching up to 360.
Yeah, towards the end, they actually were. They got pretty close from...
Yeah, and I think didn't they pass? I don't know if they passed them. They might have, or right behind them.
I mean, nobody was catching the Wii because Wii just had that. They got that casual.
All grandmas fucking bought the Wii.
Yeah.
But that PS3 outage shit, like how do you think the guys at Sony felt? Like you're coming back on a stride, almost a month, no PSN. Like that must have been. I mean, I didn't care that much because I play mostly single player games. So.
Me too. So it's like, everybody's
crying. I'm over here to play my game. Like, what are y'all crying about?
He's like, yeah, I'm good. I can still play my games.
Yeah, I think, and the cool thing was that they gave you you had to pick like 5 free games.
Yeah.
Afterwards, if you got affected by it, and I think that's how I got what's it called? Infamous. I think the first one, is how I got it through there. That's the first time I played it, and I was like, "Holy shit, it's fucking pretty alright."
I forgot why. I'm pretty sure I made poor decisions when I got my 5 free games.
Oh no, I think they had like some exclusives on there. It was pretty dope. They even had a PSP game. They had PSP games on there, and I had a PSP, and I downloaded those.
I had a PSP that I never used.
I had a PSP that I played a lot of Shin Budokai on, and I played. What did I play a lot of? I don't know. JRPGs. But yeah. So yeah, not much going on. So I think we could wrap up today's episode, actually.
I guess we could, yep.
Yeah, so yeah, remember to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, NVRDY Podcast, not Instagram.
Oh yeah, it's Instagram.
Instagram, NVRDY Podcast.
We're not active. We're more active on Twitter. So if you want to get to us, you can get us on Twitter.
Yeah, and YouTube, Never Ready channel. Search us up, and we're always posting on your favorite podcast service of choice.
Also on Google Music or Google Podcasts. I don't know if they have those separate. I keep seeing separate things.
I think we're on almost every single podcast service. Most likely, we're on your podcast service of choice.
You got to look up Never Ready channel. Don't look up for Always Gaming or
even on the podcast.
I think overall, just because
Never Ready. Yeah, search for Never Ready
because it's all under one
thing.
banner.
Yeah.
So
Also remember if you into movies and stuff, we also have the movie podcast Backlighting where George hosts that one. And actually, I think everybody always shows up to that show. So yeah.
But now they do.
Now they do. It took a while. But yeah, thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Very ranty, but whatever. It's a rainy day out here. We
gotta take a nap.
We gotta take a nap right now. Exactly. So yeah, see you next week.